What is up, everybody? It is Og here, back with another video, and in today's video, we are going to do the most fun quest in the entirety of classic WoW, at least in my opinion. And that quest is the Rhok'Delar quest chain. And I'm not going to do it the cheesy kind of way where you can do all these kind of cheese tactics to make it real easy. I'm going to do it the original way, the way that we would have done it back in vanilla, the difficult way, because that is how it's the most fun. I will be talking through how to cheese the mechanics. So if you are interested in actually doing it yourself and you will just want to make it a lot easier to get the Rhok'Delar, which is an amazing weapon, and Rhok'Delar and everything like that, then I will be showing that as well. But we're going to be running through the 4 demons. We're going to be showing exactly how I did the pools. We're going to be showing where I messed up on the pools and things like that. So it's going to be a ton of fun. If you guys want to see this live, I did this live on stream. Check out the Twitch, link down below, and also sub on YouTube for more Hunter videos. And if you are interested in more Hunter videos, more gold farms, more Hunter solo content, and fun things like that, definitely let me know down in the comments down below. All right, let's jump into it. So in order to do the actual quest, what you have to do is you have to go to 4 different locations and kill these demons. Now you're going to see these demons walking around as basically non-elites, non-interactables, unless you have this quest. But once you talk to them, they actually turn into demons, and then you have to kill them. And they all have specific mechanics that you have to kill them with. And so the first one, probably the easiest one, is going to be the Winterspring guy. Now, the hard part about the Winterspring guy is if you get too close to him, you actually get turned into a demon, as you just saw there. And so I got turned into a demon. That is going to put a dot on you. That's pretty much just going to kill you. Unless you have a restorative potion, you're pretty much done for. So with this mob, you definitely want to make sure that you're staying max range. Now, the hard part about this guy is that you're in a very densely populated part of Winterspring. So he makes a wide pathing area around the northern part of Winterspring, and you're going to get interacting with him at some point in there. But you have to find a way to drag him through all the mobs while staying 30 yards ahead of him, to not get turned into a demon and killing him. The nice part is the main thing that kills him is actually the Serpent Sting. And so he doesn't take much damage from the regular, damaging spells, and he has a good amount of health, so it's not worth trying to kill him like that. 24,000 health, like that would take a pretty good amount of time to kill him. But what does happen is that Serpent Sting, as he gets lower health, does more damage. And so you're going to see Serpent Sting is really starting to tick hard. It's like 700 damage a tick. But the issue is that while you're running around, you're going to run into mobs like Frost Sabers. You're going to run into mobs like the Chimera or Chimeras. You're going to run into all these different kind of mobs. So the easiest way to do this, and the cheese way to do this, is to get basically just a group of 5 people clearing ahead of you. So they're just tagging all the mobs running ahead of you. Then you just kite. Real easy. Not hard at all. You literally just kite him with Serpent Sting and slow him when you need to. Very, very easy. More fun way to do this is to do exactly what we're doing here and not even clear any mobs. And so we ultimately clear 1 mob in advance to get it down, which you can see is this Chillwind Ravager, because we get hit right there and actually die right here. But this pathway is going to be the best pathway that I can recommend to do it. And so it's actually going to be hugging the mountainside. Now, before you get to the actual Frost Sabers and things like that in their little den up in the top left of Winterspring, you have this slight mountainside gap where if you go over the mountain, there's no mobs, and then you come over the other side with the Chillwind Ravager, and that is where you can sneak through. And so we ultimately ran into the Chillwind Ravager, as we saw. However, if we sneak through that side with the Chillwind Ravager interrupted, or maybe if we scatter him and wing clip without getting slowed too much, we're able to sneak through that pathway. And so that's what we're going to end up doing with this boss. Another really good thing that you could do is use a restorative potion. So restorative potions cure magic or disease or something like that. I think it's just, is it just magic? It might be just magic. But regardless, it clears it every 5 seconds and it lasts 30 seconds. And so that allows you to get hit up to, like, I guess 6 times by the demon form, and you technically won't die. But if you have the demon form going on you, as you see right here, you have no shot, because you're just ticking for like 800 damage a second. Even if you feign death and eat, you can't eat through it. So unless you have a healer that's there to heal you and keep you alive, maybe you have a priest or a shaman or pally, whatever, some class that can come res you. Outside of that, you're probably screwed if you get hit with the demon form. Also, one big difficult part about this quest is make sure that nobody else interacts with the mob. If anybody interacts with the mob, if anyone heals you while you're killing the mob, if anybody does anything towards you or towards the mob will despawn. That sucks. Don't have that happen. You pretty much have 15 minutes to kill the mob, and after 15 minutes, they're going to despawn. But here we can see that we slow down the video, which means that we're going to be getting into the actual kill. So it did take us definitely a few tries, but I'm not even worrying about health or mana, because I know that the actual boss itself is probably close to about 15 minutes. And so I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to go with the pool. I just need to get the pool done. And so here we go. We're kiting him with the Serpent Sting. We're using rank 1 arcane shot to also keep him in combat. And we're just kiting him up this mountain. You can see that there's definitely a couple mobs that we have to watch out for, but overall it's not too bad, and we have Aspect of the Cheetah, so we're able to stay ahead of him. I do take a mana pot there, but we can see that we're starting to take him down a little bit with the Serpent Sting. It's hitting for like 700 damage once it gets down to the bottom of its ticks, so it's doing some decent damage. You definitely want to make sure that Serpent Sting runs for its full duration when actually doing the ticking. But we're going to run up this mountain path, and this mountain path is not going to have any mobs in it on this side. Even though it's called Frost Saber Rock. Now, if you go to the other side of the mountain, you will find a ton of frost sabers, hence the name, Frost Saber Rock. So make sure that you stay on this side of the mountain, but then you come over the side. Don't worry too much about the fall damage, it's not going to kill you, but you're able to kite right down the mountain, and this is how you're going to get to the road. So our ultimate end goal is basically get to the road, get to safety, and that's where we're trying to get to. And so if we cut through this pathway right up here, and we hug right, we're going to be able to get to the road. So I do see this bear, and I'm thinking to myself, crap. The bear could potentially cause us some issues, but fortunately, the bear pats over to the left right before we get there, and so we're able to sneak around him to the other side, and we're able to get to the road. So we can see the road here. I know I'm in the clear. All you got to do now is just make sure that you do not get within range so you don't get hit by the Serpent Sting or by the debuff. Also make sure that while you are keeping up Serpent Sting, you are not auto-running into like barriers or hills or things like this. I almost died right here because I accidentally ran up the hill and then slid down, and I was thinking to myself, oh crap, I might not be able to get up this. It was all right, but definitely watch out for things like that, because in the event that you do not get up that pathway, you're pretty much screwed. The other thing is you do need to keep him in combat. If you don't hit a mob for, it's something like, I think it's 10 seconds, then they will just evade and just run back. So you have to make sure that you are hitting him with something. That's why I recommend rank 1 Arcane Shot, just because it's such a low mana cost and it just keeps him in combat, and it's not overriding something like your Serpent Sting or something like that, which is how you're actually going to get the mob down right here. Demon number 2 is going to be the Burning Steps Demon. Now this guy actually isn't too hard in general, so there's no real cheese method here, but it only really took me one try, so there's going to be no failing going on here. There is going to be some tips I definitely have for you guys, though. So he kind of passed around this outside circle part, but the place that you actually want to kill him is in this little pit over here to the left. And so what this pit does is just basically provides you with an area where there's no chance of him potentially aggroing any extra mobs or anything like that, except for this one mob that I aggro right off the start. Awkward. But outside of that, you can't really aggro any mobs, and so it's a really, really good spot to go. But you basically want to open up and do as much damage as possible. Get the freezing trap on him, though. I was going to open up with another aim shot, multi-shot, but unfortunately we couldn't really do that because of this mob. But eventually, if you just kite this mob away enough times, you're good to go. Now, this guy turns into this Demon Felguard, and this Felguard is going to do a ton of damage to you unless you keep up Scorpion Sting. You always have to use max rank Scorpion Sting. Don't let anyone try to trick you, like in my stream, and try to tell you that you do not need max rank Scorpion Sting. You do. You need max rank. If you don't, you're going to die. Keep up max rank Scorpion Sting. But then what happens is that every 10 seconds, he's going to wipe off that Scorpion Sting. And so what you can do is during that 10 seconds, you can run in and just do some damage to him. So you can melee him. Now, what you do want to have is you want to have some melee weapon skill for this guy and for the Ungoro guy. And so I'll be showing a method to get up your weapon skill very easily right after we kill this mob, just so you guys can very easily go and level up your weapon skill if you're like me and you need to. Now, what you also can do is you can throw a Serpent Sting on him while the Scorpion Sting is on as well, because you can see that the debuff goes on regardless of if the Serpent Sting is on there. But you can see that every 10 to 20 seconds he is going to do this in rage. And so what I like to do is I like to make sure that I time it perfectly. And the way to time it perfectly is you hit him for, I don't know, probably about 5 seconds, and then you run away. You have the wing clip on him, and then you're just running away and auto-shotting him. When the debuff drops, you reapply the debuff and you're good to go. So it's actually every 20 seconds, not 10. I errantly spoke there, but you can see that he enrages. We put back up another Scorpion Sting. We go for Raptor Strikes and Wing Clips and things like that. Once Scorpion Sting gets down about 10 seconds, we know that we're going to need to put up another Scorpion Sting soon, and so we're going to Wing Clip, try to get some distance, because we're going to get one shot if we ever get hit without that buff on. And then he goes ahead and takes it off again, and so we just keep on going back and killing him. So you basically have like a 10-second window to do as much melee damage as you want, and you can honestly do a good amount of melee damage to him. I have some good weapons, but if you have like anything really, as long as you have 285 weapon skill minimum. Now, why do I say 285? Well, the mob is level 60, which means that we need to have a good amount of hit chance, right? And so mobs that are 3 levels above you have a pretty good chance for you to miss, but you're still able with yellow weapon skills or yellow damage, whatever, yellow damage types, so aka wing clip, you're still able to have a very good chance to hit him. And so if you have any hit, which you're going to have hit, assuming that you have the hybrid survival spec, you're probably going to have about 9% hit, which means that you're only going to have like, I think it's an 8% chance to miss the wing clip. And so you'll be able to get off 2 wing clips. So I would recommend at least 285. If you could be 300, more damage, be 300. But other than that, it's not too bad. So just kite him around. The important things to remember, Scorpion Sting is your number one thing that you need to use. Make sure you conserve your mana to make sure you could Scorpion Sting. Definitely have mana pots because this could be mana, very, very mana draining going on throughout the fight just because he has a good amount of health and it takes a while to kill him. With melee, wing clip him when the debuff is about to run out with about at least 10 seconds left, I would say. Start trying to run away from him just so you do not get gibbed. If you do get hit while he doesn't have the debuff on, he's probably going to kill you. So be smart about it. It's better to make this fight last as long as possible and make sure that you get him down. But here, we're just able to kite him and we're going to be good to go. He's probably the easiest demon, I would say, overall, but at the same time, there's not a way to cheese him, so there's other demons that are much easier if you have a way to cheese them. But for me, he was probably the easiest, which is why it only took 1 try. The others definitely all took multiple tries. But as you see here, we're getting him down. Eventually, we just start doing damage with him. We get him down to pretty much nothing left. We're kiting him with concussive shot and just doing some damage to him. I could probably end him with a multi-shot right there, but I just end him with the auto shots. And we get down this demon. Make sure if you are in a group of somebody, you set it to free-for-all. Otherwise, they have to come and loot. This was like freaking me out when this happened because obviously I can't loot the mob. It's because the other priest that gave me fortitude was too far away, or sorry, was close enough where he could actually get the loot. And so it was his loot table. So he had to come up and loot the mob before I could then loot the mob. But just keep that in mind. So here's how you can get some really easy weapon skill. Down in the southern part of the Blasted Lands, you can see the Servants of Razalik. And so in order to kill them, you basically need to be on a quest. You need to click on this little kind of floating item right over here to the left. But because we are not going to kill them for the quest, what you actually can do is just DPS them down like this. You can pick up a healer if you want, and the healer can heal you and keep you alive the entire time, and you can just level up your weapon skill to spamming rank 1 wing clip, or you can use your pet as well. And so here, obviously, I'm spamming wing clip, and I'm getting healed, but also what you could do is you can get aggro with your pet, have the pet tank. After you get down the mob to 0 health, he becomes banished for like 20 seconds, but you can still level up your weapon skill. Ultimately, he comes out of banish. You keep on tanking with your pet until your pet is low or dies, whichever one you want. And then you just feign death and rinse and repeat. But this is a very, very quick way to get up your weapon skill, and you don't need to worry about taking a lot of damage. Obviously, I'm not taking much damage at all, and especially if I had a pet, I'd be perfectly fine to level up my weapon skill quickly. Definitely get your weapon skill to at least 285 for these quest demons. But if you can get higher, that's also great as well. And make sure you spam rank 1 wing clip to level it up. Very, very quick way to get it up. Kind of similar to the hamstring warrior leveling. The 4th demon gets very, very interesting. And if you are having trouble finding some of these demons, I recommend an add-on called NBC Scan. And so, or Unit Scan, sorry. And so the add-on's called Unit Scan. You do /Unit Scan, then type the name of the mob. And so we could see Simon the Incendious, I think it is. And then what that allows you to do is it allows you to pop up something on your screen whenever they get close. And then you're notified so that you can go ahead and interact with them. Now, there is a way to cheese this boss. And so I'm just going to tell you right now, if you put magic dust on the pet, the Fell Hunter pet, you have a minute where he's stunned and you just kill the boss. Simple as that. The boss is going to have a mechanic whereby he does chain lightning. Now the chain lightning, or I guess she does because it's a succubus, but whatever. Chain lightning. And so chain lightning can be stopped by Viper Sting. However, she also puts a debuff on you that decreases the attack power that you have by something crazy, like 1,000. It's basically like diminishing all the attack power that you have. So what you need to do is you pretty much always need to melee the boss down. And so you can see Chain Lightning right there. And what you need to do is either Scatter Shot or Viper Sting. But if you're in melee range, obviously when she goes for the Chain Lightning, you're going to have to jump out of melee range, Viper Sting, run back in, and start doing more damage. And so that's kind of the hard part of this fight, is that you have to kill the boss with Viper Sting. Now the conventional method and the old school way is to kill the pet and then kill the boss. And I actually figured out a very easy way to do exactly that. And so that's the trick that I'm going to tell you guys right now. So you could see that we were able to get down Simon Seductress. However, at this point, I listened to somebody in the stream who told me that you can use rank 1 Viper Sting to save mana. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm almost out of mana. I should probably use that. And then I started getting chain lightning, then I was going to die, and so I'm like, all right, feign death. And here I go, rank 1 Viper Sting. But it's obviously not going to stop any of the chain lightnings. I'm going to be like, what the hell, I'm almost dead. And so I feign death. But then we're able to get down the boss. So as I said before, if you want to cheese this, magic dust the pet, kill the boss with melee, blow it up right off the bat, and then magic dust, and you're going to be able to get down this boss easily. If you don't want to cheese it though, what I would recommend doing is putting down a freezing trap. And then you're going to be freezing trap the main succubus while killing the pet. Now the reason for this is the succubus won't actually put the debuff on you until the succubus is close, which means that you can do your big time opener, and so you see aim shot, rapid fire, multi-shot, like everything, pop everything right off the opener, except for serpent sting. Scatter shot the pet while dragging the succubus into the freezing trap, then blow up the pet, and you can see that I'm still able to do maximum damage with my ranged abilities because the succubus wasn't close enough to put the debuff on me. So I'm blowing up the pet as quickly as possible. I'm blowing iron grenades too, just to make sure I can get off as much damage as possible. And before the succubus even really gets to me, I'm going to be able to get down the pet and then be able to just to focus on the succubus. And so it makes it pretty easy. But as I said before, you do have to watch out for the chain lightning and either scatter shot or viper sting whenever that chain lightning does come out. But now you can see as we get close to the seductress here, debuff goes on me and I'm not really able to do much damage. The one thing you can use though is Elixir of Demon Slaying, which will give you a lot more attack power, so that's something really nice. But you can see that I am getting dodged a lot. I have 285 weapon skill, and so as I said before, I'd recommend definitely having the weapon skill be as high as possible, just so you can hit this mob. Ultimately, you're going to be able to get it down, but you're going to see a lot of misses and dodges while I'm trying to kill the boss. The boss itself, though, isn't too bad when it's just the boss after you kill the pet. Another preferred method is to actually kite the boss around the lake over in the top left. I didn't want to wait for the boss to pat all the way around because it takes like 15 minutes and it was already like 1:30 in the morning. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going for it. Screw it. And so I just killed the boss where it stands. But you definitely do want to make sure you're in an area where you're not going to have random aggressive mobs around you. So you can see here that I have some trappers around me that are non-aggressive, so it's perfectly fine. But if I had, you know, that Pterodox, I think it is, over to the left, that could have caused some issues. So make sure that you're in a good kill spot when you actually go for the kill. Make sure, though, that you just keep on jumping out. You do the Viper Sting, as many Mongoose Bites and Raptor Strikes as you want. Make sure that you have enough pots, though. If you do get away from the boss for long enough, you could see that Temptress Kiss did just get on me, but you potentially could also just stay out of range and get off some extra damage without it. But ultimately, she's probably going to get back into your melee range unless you're cutting around the lake in the middle. Not a hard boss fight at all, though. Just take her down. Ultimately, it's just a DPS weapon race, put on Aspect of the Dodge, and you're going to be your Aspect of the Monkey for the extra dodge, and you're going to be good to go. But this is a lot of fun, and this is kind of like the first time back in Vanilla WoW I ever had to be a melee hunter. It was this demon quest. Because I was like, well, I don't want to melee ever, which obviously melee weaving is now something that a lot of hunters do. But it was very, very much so my first kind of experience with it. And I always had this kind of like personal disdain towards melee hunting just because it was so taboo back in the day. But for this quest, it is definitely needed. And this is probably going to be the third demon that you're going to be doing, or if you do it in a different order, that's fine. But it's probably going to be the second most difficult demon. The most difficult demon without cheesing is going to be the next demon, the Silithus Demon. And you guys are going to see exactly why in just a minute. But here we get down this Simone the Seductress without a problem, get the head, and we're on to number 4. So it is now time for the most fun boss, the last boss, and that is going to be the Silithus boss. So the Silithus boss, you want to be fighting around this slanted thing. No matter what, just do it. It's going to be tough in its own right if you're cheesing it, or if you're not cheesing it, sorry. Just do it. The difficult part about this boss is that the boss does a lot of damage if he hits you. He also does this fear, which fears you away, but does a lot of damage as well and can fear you into other mobs. And he also spawns these little scarabs, which if they hit you, do a ton of damage. A lot of things going on with this boss. He also enrages, but the enrage is quick and easy to take care of. So the enrage you can take care of very easily just with a frost trap. So you lay down a frost trap, you aggro the boss, run him over the frost trap, he's going to lose the enrage, and then you just feign death. And you can see here that he no longer has the enrage, he's no longer red, which is great. So that's going to help. That's your very first thing you should do. The second thing you can do is you can wing clip. So wing clip actually puts an immobilizing effect on him for 25 seconds, meaning that for that 25 seconds, you could do a good amount of damage, which is great, but you're still able to get feared, and you're not going to be able to outrange this fear. And so if you want to be able to do this pretty easily, what you could in theory do is you could just have the Shadow Protection Potion or Greater Shadow Protection Potion, and you'll get feared, and it'll be okay. You'll be able to absorb like 3.2k damage, and you'll be able to live. But if you don't have a Shadow Protection Potion, probably going to take too much damage from this fear and die. I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it without Shadow Protection Potion. The other way to cheese it is you use a Warlock. So a Warlock can duel you right before, put Curse of Recklessness on you, and then you have 2 minutes with which you can't be feared. Or maybe it's 5 minutes that you can't be feared. Basically, you can't be feared for a long time, and so this fight becomes pretty trivial because you're just burning down the boss while he's rooted in place, and you're kiting around some little scarabs that don't run too fast. Not really too big of an issue. But if you don't cheese it, and you do this the old-fashioned way, it gets really fun. And so you can see here that we open up, we put down an immolation trap just so we can get a lot of damage off the bat, and we just try to go as hard as possible. As soon as he gets over to the immolation trap, we're actually going to go for a wing clip, root him in place, but you can see we take a melee hit, but that's okay. I start running away because I know that there's going to be little mobs that spawn. And so the Creeping Doom spawn, I get the Dreadful Fright, and so I'm feared. And so I'm just going to open up back and go into damage, pop rapid fire, and just try to get out as much damage as possible. This is about to be one of the most epic kills, by the way. And so we're DPSing down this boss. I'm feeling pretty good because I see that he's at 54% health, but I do get feared, and I can see that there's a scarab over to the right. So I'm like, crap, I need to continue to do damage but avoid the scarab. So I jump off to the left. He starts running for me, and so I Iron Grenade into the wing clip to hopefully not get hit. I do unfortunately still get hit though, and you can see I'm taking a little bit of damage from these Creeping Dooms. I get feared, and this Creeping Doom gets me down to 8%, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm screwed. So I pop a major healing potion, and I get back into the fight. I'm kiting this guy. I see that I still have 15 seconds, so I need to get down to the bottom of the area to try to get away from him as much as possible so I can do as much damage. One trick that you can do that's pretty awesome here, and you can see I get feared again, I'm down to 32%, is you can scatter, and if you wing clip quickly enough, you're actually able to wing clip without taking any damage. So he's going to get up close to me. I'm going to scatter shot him, wing clip, and actually not get hit at all because I'm out of range of him by the time that his kind of character spins around and is able to hit me again. So here we have him stuck. I'm about to get off this aim shot. I'm about to do all this damage. I'm like, here we go. We're going to kill him. And then I get feared. And I'm like, oh crap. And I have all these Creeping Dooms next to me. And so I'm like, all right, I just need to burn him down. Get over to the right, and I'm thinking, okay, here we are, perfect, but I accidentally get out of range, so I move over just a little bit, I go for the Iron Grenade, and then I'm going to go for the aim shot, but with my macro with the aim shot, it automatically shoots an auto shot, breaks him out of Iron Grenade, and I'm like, oh crap, I just need to get off this multi, but then I aggro this flare, and I don't know if you guys noticed, watch my character as I aggro this flare. Dodge. I dodged the flare, which it gives me just half a second more to be able to get down this boss, get down the guy without cheesing it, and it was one of the most insane moments on stream. It was great. We were going wild. And so this quest is a ton of fun. Killing these 4 demons is very tough. You can cheese them using the methods that I've said, but I don't recommend it. At the end of the day, you're supposed to have fun with these quests, right? It's not just to get the Rhok'Delar quest, and the respawn isn't bad anymore. Back in the old days, it was a 4-hour respawn for all these mobs, but now it's like a 15-minute respawn, and you have like 15 minutes to kill them. So it's not like it's going to kill you or take a ton of time if you don't cheese it. If you want to, though, go ahead and do it, and you'll be able to get your Rhok'Delar, but this is the most fun quest in Classic WoW. Alright everyone, that wraps up today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please subscribe and leave a like and a comment below to let me know so. And if you guys have any other ideas for any other videos, please let me know in the comments below. Also check out the description for the Twitch where I do all this live, and also for my Twitter and Discord where you guys can be notified of any future updates and when I'm going to go live on stream. So I'll see you guys in the next video.